Has been sharing the stories and experiences of Black Canadians through a special project called Being Black in Canada. Tonight we hear from a rapper who's been using his music to bring about a message of change and hope to thousands of kids. Asher Tomlinson has more.
I've always looked at it as a privilege, but also a responsibility. And I'm a firm believer that having an outlet is just so important for youth. Trying new things, because when you find something that you connect with, your self-esteem goes up, your drive for life goes up, and you find purpose. I'm Gibson, hip-hop artist and motivational speaker. My mom, dad, and they'd say, "Wait, what are you doing? You're gonna be late for school." And I'd say, "I don't think I'm gonna make it to school today."
DO stands for Defy the Odds, and he drives home that message to the next generation. He's been invited to speak at 2,500 schools in the span of 2 decades.
I get out to schools and talk about Black history, but more importantly to me, I talk about Canadian Black history, which is a story that isn't told enough.
In the Guinness Book of World Records for longest freestyle, Dio uses his music to highlight Black Canadian history.
Hey yo, my mama used to say, everything gonna be okay. Don't worry about them. One day you gonna find your way.
What surprises you most when you go into schools and talk to them about Black history?
Most of the time, it's still about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. And then when I'd say, "What do you guys know about Black Canadian history?" everybody would be quiet. So it's cool in the last few years to hear Viola Desmond.
They said I didn't pay the theater tax, but it was really about color.
I like to pick out different people in Black Canadian history from different avenues and places across the country. So I talk about hockey because there's so many kids that love hockey. And I talk about the Colored Hockey League because it happened 22 years before the NHL.
Don't believe the stereotypes you were taught. They say a Black Nova Scotian created a slap shot.
I talk about Willie O'Ree as the first Black hockey player in the NHL, but I also talk about Josiah Henson and coming up from the Underground Railroad and how he helped other people.
Our history, the one up north, slaves used to look to the star.
Recently, I've also started talking about Jean Augustine and how she was really instrumental in making sure that Black History Month was recognized in Canada.
What do you think the significance is of knowing our Black Canadian history?
When I moved to Toronto, I never understood when people said, "Where are you from?"
Hey yo, I'm going back to Halley so that I can kick it. Go and see the family and handle some business.
People would say, "Where are your parents from?" And I would say, "They're Canadian." "Where are your grandparents from?" "They're Canadian." My family's from Saskatchewan, but my Black side and my roots and my soul comes from Nova Scotia, Cape Breton specifically, Whitney Pier, Sydney. We go back generations. My great uncle was the first Black person to get the Order of Canada. There's a lot of Canadian pride when you realize these stories, these people, these leaders, and this history.
When I think of legends in Canada, Lieutenant Governor General Lincoln Alexander.
Let's talk about the global reckoning on race in 2020. How did you feel about the video of George Floyd?
It's just certain things about it that really hit home. You know, I can't breathe. Just that basic human, right of life. And then him asking for his mother. It was definitely a challenging moment, and the after effects were incredible as well. I was amazed when I'd see smaller communities get together, when I'd see a little white boy or a little white girl wear these Black Lives Matter shirts with their fist up and really feeling pain and really wanting to do something about it.
What is it about young people, that you're drawn to, that you want to get them engaged?
I love hearing more from youth that they want to keep on learning and gaining more information. To me, that just thirst for knowledge is something you want to see in kids, especially this year with COVID and kids just feeling so isolated and removed, that if I can be part of giving them something that they can attach onto and give them hope, then I'm glad I can be part of that.
So Asha, an inspiring story and his freestyle world record. I'm intrigued. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Janella, I'm chair dancing right now. I just love the story. I love his story. And on July 5th, 2003, Dio set a record for the longest freestyle rap at an outdoor festival. He rapped for 8 hours and 45 minutes. Speechless, right? So I asked him to do a little freestyle. I had to.
Of course.
And check this out.
Black Canadian history from coast to coast. You read the stories and they don't need to boast. But I can tell you this, as a rapper, you can add the data. But Black history is here, I see it in Asha, cause she been putting it on CBC and running it. Big shout out to my man Dwight Drummond. Cause Black history, you can see it in Nova Scotia. You can see it in Construction Number 2 Battalion. I'm talking about the soldiers. You can see it in Viola. You can see it out in Buxton. You can see it out in Chatham. You can hear it how I'm rapping. You can hear it out in Edmonton. You can see it out in BC. All across the country. Can't forget about the prairies. But I think Black Canadians, man, we do it best. We got Drake, we got The Weeknd, and we got the Godfather, Maestro Fresh West.
That was me like doing, give him a little dance. It was so great. And, Janelle, he also has a website. It's called Black Canadian 365 because he says, he wants people to learn about Black history in this month, but also all year round.
Yeah, of course, Black History Month is wrapping up, but you can learn Black history anytime.